Today I am going to give tutorial as a part of design team member for Off the Rails scrapbooking. So my today's tutorial is about how to make peony flowers and birds and arrange them to form a beautiful spray. So I have made this spray if you want to take a look. So this is again two-tone peony, these are two-tone peony flowers as well as birds, and I made some leaves and then arranged them to form this spray. This spray you can directly use in your projects. I did use one of the spray in my project and it's looking so beautiful. I'll share that project with you soon, so if you want to take a look. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so materials you are going to need are like this. So I'm using this EK 5-petal punch. It is around 2¼ inch in diameter. This is going to be for flower, and I'm using this Fiskars 5-petal punch, which is around 1½ inch in diameter, and I'm going to use this punch for to make birds. Okay. So for making flowers, I already cut these petals. There are in a set of 4, so there are 4 petals for flower, and for bird there are 2 petals, and we are going to make we are going to make one bird today. So there are 2 petals for the birds. This is a green base. It's again 2 inches in diameter. This is a green base for our flower, and the small green base for our birds, and it is around 2½ inches in diameter. I already made these leaves. We are going to need stamens, so it's up to you which color stamens you want to use. So these are the stamens. If you want to make your flowers in 2-tone, you can use any distress ink. I'm using Studio G pigment powder, like pigment ink with the rubber. We are going to need wire, like flower wire. It is around 5½ inches in size, and we are going to need one for flower and one for bird. Flower tape. Yeah, aluminum foil to make base for our birds. Embossing tools and water mister, pair of scissors and tacky glue. Okay, so we'll start now. So first we'll start with our flower. So I'm using these 5 petals, and first of all I'm going to apply this G Studio pigment ink in the center. You can get little bit of the ink on the petals as well, like halfway through the petals. Okay, and do the same thing on the other side as well. Do this for all remaining 3 petals as well as 2 petals that we are going to use for our birds. Okay, so now I have all petals that are inked in the center. All these petals are ready. So what is the next thing we are going to do is we are going to damp them with water. And the cardstocks which I am using here are Recollections 65 LB white cardstocks. And what I'm going to do, so once you wet this petal, don't wet it too much, just moderate size type, and then use any tool, like you can use painting brush as well, and just hold the tip on this brush and hold it with your other finger on the other side and squeeze it on the tip. It's like this. Okay, and just give a roll. Do the same for next lobe as well. Once you are done with it, what you are going to do, take the embossing mat and with your embossing tool just pull each lobe in the center. It will form like a bowl shape. Okay. And one more thing is, I am using this foam piece, or actually I got this in one of the packing, so it has wells in it. So if I put it like this petal, and it helps to retain that shape, like bowl shape, and I will arrange them on this wells and let them air dry or use heat gun. But you can use egg cartons, but if you are going to use heat dryer, then don't use foam egg cartons. Instead there are some paper mache egg cartons available, so you can use those as well. Okay, we'll go with the next one. So we are going to do same thing for all petals, for the flower as well as for the birds. Damp it with water. Squeeze it towards the tip. So holding it from the other side, it helps to keep that lobe tight on the brush or whatever like holder you're going to use. Okay. Do the same thing. So I'll be doing same thing for all birds. Okay, now all these petals are dried. Next thing we are going to do is, so take first petal that we are going to use for flower. Open it a little bit, and you have to open this squeeze part and try to make it little flatten, but don't press it too hard. Let this squeeze show properly. Okay, so just slightly try to open it with this embossing tool. Okay, just in the center, make it a little smoother. Do the same thing for all petals. So we just need to open this tip of every petal. So these are now ready. So now what we have to do, so we have these stamens, so I'm taking 6 of them, and we already cut the flower wire. So what we are going to do, fold this stamens in the center, and for the flower wire just make a loop kind of thing, and in the center of the stamens try to attach this flower wire. Okay, like this. You will need plier for this to make it tight and twist this flower wire around the stamens. So this is going to be for our flower, and for our bud we are going to take this aluminum foil, make a ball out of it. So this ball is around ½ inch in diameter. Take another flower wire and give a small loop towards the tip. Okay, and we need to pierce hole in this aluminum ball. So with any piercing tool, just make a hole. Just make sure that the hole is in the center. It is not going on either side. So just make sure it's in the center. And then we are going to put this flower wire, and if you want you can put glue on top. Let it dry. Now we will start putting our petals together for the flower. Sorry. Okay, so the way I do this is I use this piercing tool. I put hole in the center of the first petal, let it slide, and then what I'll do, I will apply some glue here. So you can just arrange without using this piercing tool as well, like arrange a petal on top of each other and then like apply glue in between. But just to make sure that each petal is aligning properly, I use this tool and it helps a lot. Take the second petal and pierce the hole in the center, and the way you are going to put this petal is make sure that every lobe is aligning in between the two lobes of previous petal. So like this. Do the same thing for next petal. This one. Okay, again make sure that lobe is aligning between two lobes of previous petal. And this is our last petal for the flower. Just press it tightly to make sure that they are attached with each other properly. Then to put these stamens, we need to make this hole a little bigger. So what I do with this tool, I will try to make it a little bigger, and also sometimes with this side I will try to put a little more bigger hole in the center. Okay, now you are going to slide these stamens in the flower. So don't push it too hard, otherwise that flower will get damaged. So be gentle and I'm going to take this. Okay, and then apply glue. And let it dry for a while. Meantime we'll make our bud. So we already made this base for our bud. Again we are going to put hole in the center with our piercing tool, or you can use those hole punches for your flower if you have one. Apply glue at the base, slide it, and now we are going to do is we are going to cover this entire ball with a petal. So apply glue on all petals. And it's kind of packing that aluminum ball. Okay. The next one, the hole in the center. for this as well, I'll be putting glue in the center at the base, or also on the petal, on the like halfway of the each petal. Slide it just. It's our bud and this is our flower. Okay, now we are going to add green base. So generally what I do, I will damp this base with water again. And with this piercing hole, since we need a little bigger hole, what I will do, so since I have applied water, it will become a little easier to make this hole bigger. I will gently try to make this hole bigger, or if you have a big hole punch, you can use that as well. That will be more easier. Or if you don't have that punch, then this trick will work. So it's like this. Now slide this, and we are going to put glue on each lobe. We'll add a green base for our bird as well. Damp with water. With the piercing tool, make a hole in the center. Then slide your flower bud wire. Again, apply glue on each lobe. Just put it around. Just make sure that those lobes are not overlapping on each other. So just slide them and make them separate if they are overlapping. Okay. Now next step is we are going to add flower tape. So light blue. Generally I give one more twist and at the base, and just try to stretch this flower wire as much you can, because that will help to get it wrap around the flower wire very nicely, and it will not, your wire will not become bulkier. Otherwise it will get bulkier and your spray backbone will look bulkier. So just try to stretch it as much you can. So this is our flower ready. We'll add flower tape for our birds as well. So in case of this bird, since we don't have bulkier base at the bottom, what I will do, I will just try to start wrapping a little bit further down, and then I will slide it up towards the neck and then start wrapping it around. So again wrap it very tightly. this is your bird ready. So you have flower and bird ready. Now we are ready to assemble them into a beautiful spray. So let's get started. So I already made this flower, the similar flower, and there are two more birds. And I made these two flowers. These are slightly different in shade, but we will put them together. So if you had to put this spray on your project, it will give different shades of colors. Okay. And as you know, I made these leaves. We'll use those leaves as well. So we'll use four leaves for two birds and two for two flowers. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, so you just keep watching me how I'm doing it. Again, put this leaf with your bird, apply glue. Again, tightly wrap it around the flower wire and twist tightly. We can cut this extra flower wire. So one bird is ready. We'll add leaf to another bird. Do the same thing. Cut this. Oops, sorry. So for the spray, I made total 3 birds and 4 flowers. Again, cut this base, and we'll put leaves for these 2 different shades. So now this portion is bulkier, so don't start putting your flower tape starting from this base. So wherever you will see this flower wire, start putting like assembling this leaf with your flower. Okay, like this. Okay, cut extra flower wire. Okay, and okay, this is the one. Do the same thing. Okay, so these flowers are ready with the leaves. Now we'll start putting them together. So we'll start with this first one. Okay, I think we can arrange these 3 together. So what you have to watch this carefully. So I'm going to hold this tightly between 2 fingers and do the same thing. Take your flower tape, apply glue, tightly wrap it around all these flower stems and just start wrapping. Press like try to stretch this flower tape tightly. This flower tape is kind of stretchy, so it will help you to stretch nicely. So it all depends upon how you tie this backbone. If you tie it very firmly, This will help to keep your flower spray nice and intact. So it's like this. If you want, you can cut, give a cut here. Let's see, or and start with the next one. Or let's see, I think I need one more turn. Then I will go to this next flower. Okay. And give one more turn. Okay, oops, it's fine. And again we are making sure that we are not attaching this, sorry, we are making sure that we are not attaching this flower from this thick base. We are starting with this flower wire, and if you want, you can cut some of the extra wires from here. Okay. Now let's go to next flower. I'll put this little bit below because we don't want to get it too crowded. So again, take your flower tape, glue, again tightly wrap it. This is going to be our next flower. Now I see that this flower where I had to put tape is little further up, and I already came down with this floral tape. What I'll do, I will give a cut. And anyway, I don't need some of this extra wire, so I will just cut them. That will also help to keep this backbone kind of slim, not bulkier. So this is my next flower. Again, I will start from here. And we are going to attach our last flower. Where is our last flower? I think I need one more. You see, I'll cut this. So generally I try to keep three wires together while tying all birds and flowers together. Now this is our last one. Again, start tying from here. And once you tie them nicely, if they have proper spacing between each other, that will help you to move flower as you wish, like a little bit here and there. So don't pack them too tightly, sorry, mix too closely with each other. So this is our last flower. Then I'll cut this all and just leave one. And give a twist for this. Let me see. I had to twist this remaining flower wire. So sorry. So I'm going to use this needle. If you're going to use needle, be very careful. Do not stab yourself. Or you can just use, if you have any crochet needle, you can use that as well. Okay. So the way I'm going to twist the base is hold your needle like this and just move this flower wire around the needle. Okay. And this is our flower spread ready. So see you next time. Bye.